everyone.
I'm Susie.
And I'm Rachel.
And you're listening to the Gilmore Gab.
Gilmore Gab, episode 6, the Luke episode.
The Luke episode.
The one we end up talking about in all our other episodes, because how do we not talk about Endgame Luke?
It's true. I mean, Luke is the mountain.
Well, and he's in every single relationship in some way, shape, or form that Lorelai has. So.
True. And she is in every one of his relationships.
This is very true.
This is the first guy that has other relationships for us to talk about.
This is also true.
Because all the other guys, it's only been Lorelai, and then they disappeared from the show.
With the exception of Chris, who had Cheery.
That's true. And we did talk about Cheery.
And the brief mention that Max had some girl in California.
Yes. But Luke has multiple relationships over the course of the show.
He has 2.
Yeah. And Lorelai, he has 3.
Okay. You made it sound like so many. Like he was a little playboy. He's not Digger. Luke Danes, playboy extraordinaire.
Oh my gosh.
I can't imagine. He's too angry for that.
He's too grumpy, it's true. Although some women like grumpy men.
Clearly.
There's a whole trope, grumpy and sunshine.
Wait a minute. Oh, I'm in that trope. I'm sunshine. My husband is grumpy.
I have a feeling I will end up in that trope because
you are literally the sunshine.
I am. I created this fictional meadow, and I put all of my friends in there, and we're all elements of nature, and I created myself first because I didn't know I was doing this when I did it. Anyways, I am literally an errant ray of sunshine, blessing everyone's lives with sunshine.
So
Luke, grumpy sunshine. I mean,
Luke is the man with the coffee. First and foremost, they establish that relationship right out the gate.
The opening scene
is Luke
and coffee.
And is that the coffee one, or is that no? Okay, no. That's later.
No, but she does go and ask him for coffee, and he's like, "How many cups have you had?" And she's like, 1 and plus 2 plus 5 at my house, and he's like, "No."
He always gives in though.
He does. I love the dream that she has.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Where she's pregnant with his twins. And it's before they get together, and he's making her breakfast downstairs, and she comes upstairs and she figures out that he has switched it to decaf, and he's like, "You can't tell."
Yes, she can.
Yes, even in her dreams she can tell.
But like, it's Lorelai Gilmore. What do you mean she couldn't tell?
Yeah.
This is the woman who scoured the Yale campus for the best coffee for her daughter.
It's true. She Lorelai'd it.
She did. All right, where do we start with Luke?
Well, we started at the beginning with Luke.
I mean, we did, but there's so much. And like, I feel like when I first did the very first time I watched Gilmore Girls, I was like, yes, Luke and Lorelai all the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Loved him from the get-go. And every time I've rewatched it, I've always been like, yeah, Luke and Lorelai, obviously. But this most recent rewatch, and I've talked about this, a part of me was like, oh, why don't we want Max to be Endgame? And then we figure out why later. But there were a lot more moments I realize now, and maybe it's just the whole age and having been married and that I was like, I don't like some of this element of Luke.
Yeah.
And it bothers me a little bit.
Mm-hmm. His dark day.
Yeah, which is a weird... I get it, but I don't.
Okay, but I have a friend who lost her father several years ago, and on the anniversary of his death, she disappears every year. And so, I was like, hey, your dark day's coming up, so, let me know if you need anything. And she hadn't watched the show, and she was like, dark day? And I was like, yeah, the anniversary of your dad. And she's like, oh my gosh, I love and appreciate that, you call it that. And I was like, it's from a show. I didn't invent it. But so now that's a thing now, Well,
and I don't fault anyone. I get the needing to be alone, to grieve and to reminisce and to be with your own feels, dealing with something like that. I just thought it was weird because it felt like the whole town portrayed it as and he did come off this way. He was mean.
Yeah.
He was mean to people. Bro, you can be, it's what I tell my kid all the time. You can be mad, but you cannot be mean.
Truthfully, I think he needs some grief counseling.
I think he needs more than just grief counseling.
He needs therapy. But truthfully, who doesn't need therapy?
I mean, this day and age. Yeah.
But grief counseling could go a long ways.
But, and that was my thing, I think, that bothered me the most. Absolutely, have your dark day. Do what you need to do for your own mental health and well-being, but don't get mad at everybody else around you because you're having a bad day.
Yeah.
You work in customer service, Luke.
Yeah.
It sucks when people take their bad day out on you as the service provider. Why are you doing that to everybody else?
Okay, but also in his establishment, it's very much like a my way or the highway type of thing.
This is true.
And if you don't like it, then just leave.
But the problem is how is he going to ever get anyone to take him seriously when he has the no cell phones rule and he has all these rules and he lets Lorelai break them in front of everybody?
But it's Lorelai.
It's true. And I guess the town does understand that.
And he does give her crap. Like he lets it slide, but he does bring it up every time. Of all the guys for Lorelai, I do like Luke the best.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've mentioned this on another episode. I wish that they would have rearranged the timing of the relationships.
Yes. You brought that up with the Digger one, I think, and the Christopher one. And
Christopher specifically, because I think they should have swapped Christopher and Luke.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not mad that she married Christopher. I think she should have done it sooner. Because I think in marrying him, she realized that he wasn't Endgame.
Now, was that a season 7 thing?
Yeah.
Then, I mean, I think sometimes we can chalk that up a little bit to not the same writers.
True. It's true. But I like that she married Christopher and then realized that he wasn't Endgame.
Yes.
And that's when she kind of realized that.
I really hated that she married Christopher.
Yeah.
Like, I get that they needed to figure things out, but why is this show's answer to every little problem marriage? Because that's what I felt like when Christopher and Lorelai got married. That was solving a problem. They're like, let's just get married. Like, no.
With Lorelai specifically.
Yeah, I just why is marriage? Well, we'll talk about that later. I remember thinking the same thing with Suki and Jackson, where theirs wasn't as big of a deal.
Yeah.
But it was the let's move in together, let's get married.
Yeah.
When they were kind of having, because Suki wasn't taking the hint about his lease being up. But anyway.
Bless her heart.
We will talk about that.
She's a little bit oblivious.
Because frankly, I have opinions because I saw a TikTok today where somebody was like, my unpopular opinions, and they said they hated Suki and Jackson's relationship.
What?
I know. I didn't send it to you for a reason.
Thank you.
You would have been so angry with a few of these things.
I didn't need that unnecessary rage.
Team Christopher.
I know. That's rage bait is what that is. That has to be rage bait.
The only thing, the redeeming thing, was they hated Dean and what he did to Lindsay.
Okay, good.
So I was like, at first I agree. I thought it was rage bait. I thought it had to be a joke the more I kept swiping. But then they made valid points about Lane and how she deserved better. How Dean was a terrible person.
Yes.
But the Christopher being Endgame and not liking Suki and Jackson. Excuse me?
They are couple goals.
And if you are the person who posted that TikTok and you know it's you, feel free to hit us up. We can chat in a nice way because everyone's entitled to their own opinions.
It's true. We have very strong opinions on opposite sides of things that will come up later.
And we just voice our opinions loudly and on a microphone.
It's true. For the whole world to hear.
Yeah, well,
as much of the world as listens to this podcast.
True. Okay, Luke. Why is it so hard to start with Luke? It's because we don't hate him.
It's because we don't hate him and because there's so much that it's like, where do you start?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with talking about his other relationships.
You know what? Yeah, let's start with Rachel. Because that was there's a continuity error in my opinion, several. Because first of all, I think we finally established after the flashback of Lorelai's pregnancy and that when she didn't leave until she was like a year old.
Yeah.
Until Rory was a year old, that she's been in Stars Hollow for about 15 years.
Yes.
So Luke dated Rachel seriously right before Lorelai showed up?
Yeah.
And Lorelai had this whole town just never talked about it.
Right.
For 15 years. And then they have that town yard sale and Lorelai's like, oh, I like this sweater. And she wears it and Luke has a conniption
He
fit.
loses it so badly.
Which, fair, but how did no one warn? They've spent 15 years, maybe not 15 years, but they've spent a few years being like, Luke likes you, Lorelai, and watching this unfold. I highly doubt it started at 15 years ago, but it's got to have been going on for longer than the, initial start at Rory being 16.
Yeah.
At least a year or more.
Yeah.
And nobody thought to mention her best friend, Suki, didn't think to mention to her that Rachel was how is that not just town gossip for Lorelai?
Well, they were
a super serious couple.
Yeah, that's it. Serious words today.
That's okay.
They were such a serious couple, and yet Lorelai's in there every day getting coffee.
And it's at what point, this is the challenge with shows like this, because they're going to reference things that happened before the official timeline of the show, but they don't give you a timeline. How long before Lorelai did Rachel leave?
It's true.
Like, did Lorelai come into town and Rachel went, oh, that's a threat, and took off? Because Lorelai was 17?
Yeah.
Like, now I'm questioning what's the age gap between Lorelai and Luke.
Oh, yeah. What is the age gap?
Because if he was dating Rachel seriously before Lorelai came to town, because that's what the narrative is, then Luke had to have been, they had to have been teens too.
Yeah.
There is a huge continuity error.
I was going to look it up.
You look it up then.
Okay.
Because you're better at the swipe to text than I am. Like, now that I'm reflecting on that, it was what, his high school sweetheart?
But like, they don't say that she was.
No, and they say she took off because she was, and we see her come back in the series as this like photographer that likes to travel and go into those places where she can make an impact with her photography.
Mm-hmm.
But like, she wasn't doing that out of high school.
Okay, so based on the Google internets, there's about a 2 to 4 year difference of him being older than her.
Okay, I can accept a 4-year gap, not because an age gap issue, but like for the continuity of the story. So then he would have been in his early 20s with Rachel.
Yeah.
So that tracks a little bit better. But then the question is, like, at what point did his dad die? How old was Luke when his dad died? Like, there's so much. This is why they don't want you deep diving into shows.
Because based on this is the logic behind the internet's assumption of this. Luke graduated from high school. It's implied that he graduated between 1984 and 1985.
Okay.
And Lorelai was born April 25th, 1968. And Rory was born in 1984.
Okay.
Which puts Lorelai at 16 in 1984. Because she was born in 1968.
And we can assume Luke is about 18 when he graduates.
Yes.
So they're about 2 years apart.
Yeah.
So when she rolls into town at 17, 18...
My guess is their logic was that because she worked at the inn and she lived at the inn, that she might not have been as in... Well, except that the town knew Rory as a child.
Has known Rory since she was a sweet little baby.
And they even talk about how Luke helped Rory learn how to ride her two-wheeler. And
so was Rachel a high school sweet? Like they dated all through high school?
Like the continuity error. That has to be a continuity error, especially because the clothes that Lorelai is wearing fit her as a grown adult woman
16 years later.
Yes. She had to have been a more recent girlfriend.
But then how did Lorelai not know? That's my thing.
I think that it also could be implied that Lorelai lives in her own little world and doesn't always see everything that's going on around her.
But she's in the diner every day. And when Rachel comes back, how many times does she run into Rachel?
All the time.
So many times.
All the time.
And Rachel is like this fully but regardless of age and continuity, the fact is Rachel has been out of Luke's life, no contact for at least 16 years. And then she just shows back up.
Yeah.
And then of course, Rachel, being smart enough, was like, oh, nope, can't compete with Lorelai.
Yeah.
I'm there. That is my canon. I'm going back to what I said initially, is that basically Lorelai rolled into town. Rachel got a look at her and said, nope, I can't compete with that, and took off.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So I have this thing with TV and using my name. Because 9 times out of 10, the Rachels in TV are annoying, or they cause problems, or they are just a problem. And an example is Rachel in Friends. That she's a problem a lot.
I immediately thought of Rachel in Friends.
And then Rachel on Glee. And now this Rachel. And I just reach a point where I'm like, can we pick a different name, please? Because I don't want people thinking of those people when they hear my name.
It's true. That's fair. My name doesn't get used often.
No, it doesn't.
And I'm okay with that.
I would be too. But yeah, so but also why? If she's this big fancy photographer, why is she blowing back into town all of a sudden? Unrequited love for Luke? And then he just lets her back into his life like that?
It's not unrequited.
Well, you're right. That's not the right word.
Yeah.
Tonight is not the night for words.
This is going to be one of our best episodes then.
It's going to be amazing. But again, I guess I was thinking more of non-closure, not necessarily unrequited, but the lack of closure on it. But and he just rolls with it. It's been 16 years. Would you let someone back into your life like that, into your home, sleeping in your bed beside you after 16 years when they just pieced out with no warning?
No, absolutely not.
Because that's how Miss Patty tells it, and Suki, that she just up and left.
Yeah. I don't like this continuity error and like the
especially considering how he reacted to Lorelai wearing that sweater. Like, bro, you need therapy.
Seriously, we love you, dude, but therapy could go a long ways.
Because, and the point I was getting at with all of this is I feel like it also goes into the next continuity error of the I'm all in.
Yeah.
Because he's like, one day this girl comes into my diner and does my horoscope, which I guess can play to the fact of Lorelai being a little oblivious when she was early on in the town, that maybe Rachel was there, but Lorelai was so wrapped up in being a single mom and having just ran away from her parents and trying to survive. So maybe Rachel was still around and she just was, Lorelai was 18 and was very much having to try to figure things out.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
When did Luke turn the hardware store into Luke's?
I don't know.
Because if he was dating Rachel at 20, and then she left or whatever, right? Because the whole thing about that horoscope is that she rolled into his diner and asked for coffee and wrote him a horoscope about how if you give the girl coffee, whatever, something.
Yeah, she will go away.
She will go away. But here's the thing. If she rolled up at 17 or 18 or 19, was Luke's a diner yet?
That is, again, look, we can't even talk about Luke because there's too many continuity errors with Luke. Apparently, according to the Gilmore Girls wiki, it was established between 1990 and 1992 while Luke and Anna were dating.
Oh, gosh.
April Nardini's mommy.
Oh, there's another one I forgot about.
Which, again, Lorelai didn't know about Anna Nardini either.
Okay, but no, the town did, because as soon as they met April and figured out how old she was, they're like,
Lorelai didn't.
But Lorelai didn't.
But Lorelai would have been in Stars Hollow if Rory was born in 84.
She would have been there for 5 years already. And
Rachel was wait staff at one point. Okay, they're covering all the staff here because it was like Caesar, Rachel, Jess, Froggy. Who is Froggy?
Who is Froggy?
Oh, he's the dumb stoner kid who couldn't get anything right.
Yeah. And Lorelai's like, you need to fire that kid. And he's like, no, I want to give him a chance. And she's like, give someone else a chance.
Please. Yeah, so that's pretty much all the wiki gives me is between 1990 and 1992.
Okay, so but
we have to do too much research for Luke.
Seriously, and we didn't do any research before we started recording.
That's okay, because we didn't know what we were going to talk about other than we were going to talk about Luke.
Yeah. Having just recently in this episode, say he's not a player.
Okay.
He doesn't date a lot, but he has some pretty significant relationships for someone who doesn't date.
I think I want to go into the Reddit for this because I don't think the wiki is legit, because there's a whole Reddit about the Luke and Anna and Rachel timeline.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, let's see. Blah, blah, blah. So Lorelai learns from Suki and Miss Patty that Luke and Rachel were seriously dating about 5 or 6 years ago. Okay. But they mentioned that Rory was 11. And that's why Lorelai didn't know he had a serious girlfriend. She was still new to town and had an 11-year-old. No. Because according to
she'd been
Maya,
there 10 years.
Yeah. So, and then April is 12 in season 6 and Rory is 21 in that same season. So Rory and April are 10 years apart. So at the time of them having that conversation about Rachel, when Rory was 11, Rachel was actually a rebound for Anna. And Anna was actually the serious girlfriend he had. But Rachel was the one who had him able to move on. Because his sister knew all about Anna as well.
Yeah.
But did the sister ever talk about Rachel? But
we don't meet the sister anywhere near Rachel. Because Rachel's only in season 1.
Right.
And then it's kind of like she didn't exist.
Okay. Ooh, somebody has a timeline. 1984, Rory is born. 1985, they move to the Independence Inn. 1989, Luke's dad dies.
Okay.
1992, April is conceived. The diner opens. Luke and Anna break up. 93, April is born. 95 to 96, Luke and Rachel break up. When did they start dating? And then Lorelai and Rory move into their house in 1996, and that's when Lorelai meets Luke. Okay. So we have just been assuming that the whole time she's been in Stars Hollow, she has been in that diner and met Luke before. Yeah. But maybe having a child of my own, I guess you get pretty busy and don't do a whole lot. And if she was only living at the inn, she didn't really have a reason to go into town.
True, but Miss Patty talks about how she taught Rory cheerleading and she would only cheer for Harvard at 4.
Okay. But maybe she only went to dance and then back, or the grocery store and back, because they were living in the little potting shed
at the end.
And Maya would talk about Mia, not Maya.
Yeah.
Mia would talk about how hard Lorelai worked constantly from day one to make ends meet and to prove herself. I mean, Lorelai literally worked herself from a maid to manager.
Yeah.
So I guess it's entirely feasible.
Uh-huh.
But then that means that Anna was before Rachel.
Yeah.
But Rachel was more serious than Anna.
I got the impression that Luke and Anna were serious enough to not have REM cycles together.
To create a whole human being together.
But like the fact that he didn't know.
Yeah. Well, that speaks to Anna's character.
Right. Which we will have a whole episode on them. But like he didn't know, which means, but that they also broke up before.
And did they break up? Did she break up with him because she knew? I can't remember if she said they broke up and then she found out.
I can't remember either.
I feel like that might have been how it went down.
Yeah.
And so then, but then like, and she was just like, nope, I'm not going to tell him. Because it was she did mention that then your dad died or so.
Yeah,
his dad. I don't know that timeline. His dad died before them.
His dad died.
Maybe they broke up because he started the diner and that became kind of the focal point.
Maybe,
or maybe he had a dark day and Anna was over it. Maybe. She seems like the kind of person that would get over it.
Yeah.
Or maybe she moved to California, assumed a new identity, and disguised her child as a new identity until Jess came around. And then she's like, nope, can't deal with this. Going back to Stars Hollow.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
I don't know. That's a wild. I always thought it went Rachel Anna, not Anna Rachel.
Yeah. Thank you, Reddit, for
thank you, Reddit.
Clarifying
who is it? We gotta give credit where credit is due.
Because we didn't do this research.
Thank you, Reddit user Critab from 1 year ago.
Bless you for doing the research for us.
Yes, Critab. CRITTAB. And bless you, Liv Nicole TL, for asking the question.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it went Anna, Rachel,
and then
Nicole, Lorelai.
Nicole, his wife. Was that her name?
Uh-huh.
I couldn't remember her name.
It took me a minute, but I got that.
Nicole. Okay. So Anna, Rachel, Nicole, Lorelai.
Mm-hmm.
Anna's getting her own episode. So let's continue with the Rachel of it all, I guess. I don't know. Yes. Is there much more to say about Rachel?
Not really, because like she's kind of a blip, but it gives us enough of an insight into Luke's dating before Lorelai.
Well, and I think Rachel's a plot device to get Lorelai to realize she likes Luke.
Yes.
Because she does get a little bit bothered.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's a weird, Luke and Lorelai have such a weird dynamic outside of their actual like intimate relationship.
Yes.
In that like she helps Luke buy a suit.
Uh-huh.
And when he's with Nicole or whatever, or to go to the lawyer or whatever.
Yeah.
And she takes his credit card and goes and helps him buy stuff for his apartment so that Rachel can feel like she lives there.
Yeah.
And gives him all this advice while also realizing she might be jealous and have feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And then like even when April comes in the picture and she's like, you don't want to buy her toiletries, please go buy her fun things. Like and being willing to not take the credit for any of it.
Yeah.
And he's the same way. He's there when Rory gets hurt, or he's there to teach Rory to ride a bike, or he shows up and he drops everything, throws his keys to someone in the diner to take Lorelai to Hartford to the hospital when her dad has a heart attack.
Yeah.
And he teaches her to fish because she's going on a date with Alex to go fishing. And even though he knows she's going on a date with someone, he's still there. And he made the ice skating pond and he built a chuppah for her marriage to another man. These two are weird. They're both so intimately involved in each other's lives and each other's other relationships.
It's true because Luke is like in every relationship that Lorelai has, Luke is somehow there, not just for the coffee either. Like best example is when Richard has a heart attack and she's with Christopher. But Christopher and her have had a fight.
And he doesn't show up.
And Christopher doesn't show up. And Luke does, even though at that point she's married to Christopher and her and Luke have broken up.
Did that happen at the end?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was earlier in the series.
No, because he's guest lecturing and Rory's in his class and he has a heart attack.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. At Yale.
Yeah. So Luke hears, and Luke was in Stars Hollow.
It's because like Suki got a phone call.
Yeah.
And Luke's like, what happened? And Suki starts saying, he's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And he brings them food.
He brings them coffee.
He gets the paper or whatever for Richard. Like, and then he sits there. He hates hospitals.
He goes and pays the salmon guy. No.
Waits for the salmon
Logan
guy.
does that.
Oh yes, Logan
and
goes and
Rory-
waits for the salmon guy.
Yes, but Luke is there, and he like is
Yes.
willing to go and do stuff for them, even though at this point he has to have a lot of very hard feelings about Lorelai.
And through it all, like he even has that moment with like Emily outside in the hospital hallway, and like I think that's the thing that makes me go, you can't have Gilmore Girls without Luke.
Yeah.
Is regardless of his flaws and his need for therapy and the drama and the whatever, everybody, even uptight, nobody's good enough for Emily Gilmore, likes Luke in the end.
Yeah.
Because Luke's the one who's there to help with Richard. Christopher shows up, tail end of stuff.
Yeah.
And wants to get mad that Luke is there. And it's like, you should assess yourself, sir.
Yeah.
Because your wife tried to call you multiple times.
Yep.
And because you are a narcissistic buttface, you wouldn't answer the phone. And I'm of the mindset of like, no matter how mad I might get at my husband or how mad he might be at me, if someone starts calling you that many times and leaving you voicemails, isn't a part of your brain going, something must be wrong? Yes. You have a daughter together. Did it not occur to you that maybe something happened to Rory?
Yeah.
Like at least check the voicemail. Oh, I couldn't. I had no service or bull.
I turned my phone off.
You're a jerk.
Like you really didn't turn your phone on for like a whole day. Like really, dude? Really?
That narcissism. Nobody likes Christopher. And if you do,
but like going back to Luke, like I love his dedication to Rory to Lorelai and to Rory. Like I love how much he cares about them, even though he's hurt, even though, you know, like I love that last line in the last episode of the original series where he says, I just want to see you happy.
Yeah.
Because like that's Luke.
This is the man. And boy, do I bawl at this episode every time. I even texted you. I said, I'm going to try really hard not to cry. And I managed it because I had 2 children in my home that did not need to see me bawling over a TV show at the time. But I look for, every time I rewatch the series, I look forward to that last episode for the simple fact that no matter what is going on, Luke Danes stayed up all night sewing together tarps and tents so that they could have a bon voyage graduation recreation party for Rory before she had to leave for her little press political thing. And the moment that Richard and Emily say something to Lorelai about like, oh, look, and Lorelai's yeah, the town really loves Rory. They did this for her. And they're like, they did this for you.
I'm like, this is a testament to you.
Yeah. And it's truthfully a testament to no matter what, Luke is always going to be there for those girls.
Yeah.
Christopher, never. Max Medina, never.
Yeah.
Digger, bleh.
Digger doesn't even show up for Rory ever.
And this goes back to like the showing up thing about like, I keep seeing posts about this. Like Christopher didn't show up to Rory's graduation. Luke did.
Yeah.
Oh, but he showed up to the Yale graduation. Oh, but because he and Lorelai were together.
Yeah.
You know, but Luke came. And Luke's the one who moved the mattress into the dorm and out of the dorm and into the dorm and out of the dorm and helped with everything. And Luke was the one who was like, what do you mean she's not going to Harvard? She's wanted to go to Harvard her whole life. Luke is the one who made balloons for her birthday. Luke is the one who wouldn't let Dean into the diner when he found out they broke up and Rory was in his diner. He's like, nope, get out. Like Luke was more than the diner guy, more than a friend, more than a father figure. Luke was Rory's dad.
He really was.
And as much as there are elements of him that are not my favorite, he is human. And you can't trump all of the amazing things that he did, even when it hurt him. Because I imagine it hurt him to make a chuppah.
Yeah.
For her to marry Max.
Yeah. Well, and I also, okay. Contrasting Christopher and Luke, right? We just talked about how Christopher never shows up, right? No matter, even when Lorelai and Luke break up, both times they break up, he still talks to Rory. He's still like,
well, and he shows up like the time that Lorelai like called him in a panic because she was just really upset and didn't know what to do. And that was the first person she called. And he showed up and he's like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Like, I know we're broken up. But she's like, I'm so sorry I called you. He goes, I was worried about you. Like, it didn't matter. And when they both show up to destroy the bells.
Yes.
Like, I hope that kind of love finds everybody. Everybody deserves somebody who's gonna show up.
I hope you don't have to go through the drama that they go through.
I mean, fair, but Yeah.
Okay, question for you, because I saw a TikTok about this the other day.
Okay.
In regards to the revival, do you wish they would have already been married before the revival started, or are you glad that you got to see their wedding?
I wish they would have gotten married in the original series.
Same.
I think the revival should have been them finally living their lives after all of those years, 7 years, if you will,
Yeah.
of trying to get there. They deserve to just be there.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be, 10 years after? You know, like, let them be together. Let them have figured things out, established life.
Yeah.
And, you know, because, I mean, Luke was reaching a point where he needed to stop running the diner.
Yeah.
And they deserve to have already gone through it and been happy and had a few happy years of marriage together before. Because like April's already like there at the house in the revival.
Yeah.
And hanging out.
Well,
and
she's home from school because she's out at MIT.
So like they're living together and
Yeah.
stuff. Like, why couldn't they have just been married?
Yeah.
Why did I truthfully, when it came to the revival, I didn't need to see their wedding.
I didn't either.
If they were going to give us a wedding, they should have given it to us in the original series. I needed to see them married and in love and happy.
I assumed before the revival came out, I assumed that they would already have been married. And I was actually disappointed.
I was too.
When they weren't. And I was like, what have you guys been doing for 10 years?
Yeah, I was too.
Yeah.
Because that's just ridiculous. Because that means that for 17 years, they just didn't.
Yeah.
No, they had their fight for 7 years. They've been through it. Everybody now from Christopher on up knows their end game. Give them their marriage.
Yeah.
Now that Rory's off doing her thing and Lorelai doesn't have to parent anymore. And Luke's got his thing figured out with April.
And April's off to college too.
Like, let them have been married.
Yeah.
And just have that moment.
Yeah.
Because as much as parents love their kids, and this was a conversation we kind of had not too long ago, I love my daughter, but I also know that when she finally is old enough and decides to move out, being able to go back to those moments of just me and my husband is going to be really nice.
Yeah.
I love every moment I have with, well, not every moment, but I love everything about having my daughter. I love that this is the chapter of my life that we're in. I enjoyed my time before I had my daughter where my husband and I could do things, but we were also younger and there was a lot of like prepping and trying to figure stuff out and going to school and stuff.
Yeah.
Once we're done with her, we're not done with her, but once she's like off to adulthood on her own, to be able to experience life as full-blown adults, having lived a lot of and experienced a lot of things, it's going to be really nice. And I think Luke and Lorelai deserve that. Yeah. They should have already been married. They should have gotten to go travel and do something and then come back. And then Lorelai wouldn't be trying to juggle a wedding on top of her daughter being weird. Yeah. And like the stress of like Rory not knowing what to do with her life at 30. Yeah. Which like fair. I'm still kind of there. But this podcast has been super helpful in me feeling like I finally have forward progress. But I just, especially because how are you going to give us the I'm all in and I've been holding on to this horoscope for however long he's been holding on to it. How are you going to give us that kind of romantic and not have them get married?
Like, not have them get married as soon as they could.
Yeah, because, like, we almost got a Max Medina wedding.
Yep.
We got a Christopher. We didn't even get their wedding.
No, they just came back married.
The only weddings we got were Suki and Jackson's wedding and Lane and Zach's wedding.
Yep.
No, Suki and Jackson's cool. We'll talk about Lane and Zach.
We'll get to that one.
But what do you mean you couldn't give us? We didn't get the Christopher Lorelai. They just went to Paris and they're like, we're married. Yeah. We didn't get the Max Medina, even though there was so much prep and stuff. Yeah. You had to wait until they were 50.
We got all the prep.
Oh, and we got the Gilmore's vow renewal.
Yes.
You couldn't give us in the original series a beautiful Luke and Lorelai Stars Hollow wedding.
Especially because they already planned one.
They did.
We saw the dress. Like, because she planned it, and there was the carousel, and, like, Suki was going to do the cake and all of that, like.
Suki had made the cake. Yeah. Like, why? Why couldn't they give it to us? Why, Amy? Why?
Why?
I wonder if I can follow her on Instagram.
Probably. The people want to know.
Or these people want to know.
We are the people.
Yeah.
We want to know.
That was a really powerful question, because now I'm like,
Yeah. I mean, I love that they were still together, but like, I don't know. To me, it was just, there was just a heavy sense of loss as I watched the revival between Rory's potential and their relationship.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, we'll have to do a whole series of episodes about the year in their life, but
as far as Luke is concerned, like, I appreciated that he was still there because he was all in, you know? Yeah. And I actually have a pin on my fridge that's their coffee cup and it's I'm all in. like, I love that Luke had a Luke's. That he had his own place that he went. And I love that, like I love how much he cared about them without interfering, truly. You know, because he was always trying to get them to eat healthy things. But, like, he also didn't, like, get mad at them when they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I think any good friend is gonna hold you accountable to a point, but respect that you are who you are. Because they wouldn't be a good friend, a good husband, partner, spouse, whatever, if they didn't love you for you, value you for you, but also try to help you be better.
Yeah.
But also letting it be your choice.
Yeah.
And so as much as he would try to, like, give them a salad with the burger or tell them you're going to kill yourself if you eat all that, he never told them, no, you can't have it.
Yeah. And he never withheld it from them.
I mean, he even, when he and Lorelai were getting together, he was going to buy the Twickham house for her.
Yeah.
But she was having such a hard time. And unlike Christopher, Luke was like, fine, I don't want the Twickham house. I'm going to make your house work. I'm going to make sure that I fit into your life, not try to start a brand new life or not try to make you fit into mine.
Yeah.
Like, well, you know, like not try to make you have to change everything because they were already in each other's lives.
Yeah.
And Luke was living in a tiny apartment over the diner.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a big deal to him, truthfully, if he lived in the Twickham house or if he just lived with Lorelai.
Yeah.
But Lorelai had been in that house most of Rory's life. I understand the desire to, one, have something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I wish my kid could grow up in the same house.
Yeah.
For most of her childhood. I didn't even get that growing up. So I understand the appeal and the attachment to that. And for Luke to be like, she didn't even have to say it. He was like, you really love your house. And then he just one day had people showing up and fixing her house and then got real mad when some people saw her naked in the shower. Like he was a good man who knew what she wanted without her having to tell him.
Here's the thing that I love about the grumpy sunshine trope.
Okay.
Is that usually the guys are very grumpy, but, like, when they find their person, they are the biggest teddy bears for that person alone.
Yeah.
And, like, they would move heaven and earth for that person.
Or, you know, expand a bedroom and a bathroom.
Yes.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing for
but
a
like,
girl.
But he does that. He builds the hoopah, you know, like the hoopah, whatever.
It's okay.
I'm sorry that I'm butchering that word.
That's okay. It's huppah.
Huppah.
Because it's like Jewish, I think.
Yeah.
Chuppah.
Chuppah.
Anyway, we are neither of us Jewish.
Yes. My apologies for saying that incorrectly. But he builds that for her. He's always there for Rory. You know, both of those girls are his people, and he would move heaven and earth for them. And I love that, like, even when things are not great between him and Lorelai, like, it's still, like, they still are important to him.
This is true.
Even when he's hurting, even when they are the reason he's hurting, he still is there for them.
Yep. Because he's the kind of guy that's like, it's a loyalty thing, it's a commitment thing, it's a family thing. It's yeah, we had a fight. Yeah, we don't agree. Yeah, I'm mad at you. But we're still connected in family. And if you need me, no matter how I'm feeling right now, I'm going to be there for you. Your dad's in the hospital. Your daughter is traumatized by watching him collapse. I'm there. I don't care that you married another man. I mean, I care, but, like, right now, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's kind of how I feel about, like, you and our other little found family group is, like, it doesn't matter. You are the people that, like, if something happens, I'm there. You know, if that means that I, for the first time in 12 years, don't put my phone on silent at night in case you need me, then so be it, you know?
Yeah.
But it's just, and I think that's what the big factor is compared to the other men in Lorelai's life. Yeah. Is that there was that sense of no matter what that should exist when you're close to someone, friend, family, otherwise. Yeah. It's that I will show up no matter what. Yeah. And the other thing that I think matters too is that, yes, most of the men in Lorelai's life knew her family situation and her drama with her parents, but I feel like Luke was the only one who understood it. Yeah. Like, where she was coming from, and never tried to, like, force it through her or force things with her, or either didn't force her to, like, try to be friends with her family or whatever, but also didn't push her away from her family. And I feel like Digger really tried to push her away from her family. Yeah. I think Christopher really tried to get in the middle of that. Yeah. Max just wasn't a part of it. Yeah. But Luke, you know, even though Emily would talk down to him, and Richard had a very obvious opinion of him, Luke was still like, I love this woman and these are her parents. He went golfing with Richard and almost franchised his diner. Yeah. I also love the episode where it's the first time they break up
and they get back together, but they don't tell her parents yet because she's still mad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because it's after their anniversary renewal thing.
Yeah, their vow renewal where
Yes.
Christopher tries to,
Yes.
and Rory and Logan, and, which also we'll have to talk about that because that was a weird way to react to two grown adults consenting.
Yes, that was really weird. Anyways, but like I love the part where they're together and she's gotten him a cell phone and she's number one on his speed dial, and Emily comes into the diner and she's yelling at him and he just like pulls out the phone and like hits number one and he doesn't even say anything, and she hears her mother and comes running to the diner
while keeping her cell phone on the whole time, so she hears the entire conversation.
Yes, so she knows what's going on when she walks into it, and she's like, Mom!
But the best part about that too just goes back to why Luke is endgame, is because even though Emily may not have liked him, may not have wanted him to be with her daughter because she just really wanted, I don't know why she wanted Christopher. It was always the idea of their granddaughter needed to have both her parents, but like she learned,
and very also because Christopher was from the right family.
She learned very quickly that Christopher sucks, because I don't even think she was happy they got married.
Yeah, I don't think she was either.
But the fact that the reason Emily was in the diner in the first place was to be like, get back together with my daughter right now.
Yeah,
because she's not talking to me, and if you get back together with her, she will talk to me again.
Like I love that even Emily knew how much endgame they were, because she knew that the only way she was ever going to get Lorelai to talk to her again was by making sure that she had Luke.
Yeah. Well, and then again, like that sweet moment the second time Richard has his heart attack, and they're sitting out there together.
Yeah.
Because like they're sitting outside the room, and because it wasn't the first time.
Yeah.
It was the second time, and he's just like, I really hate hospitals still, and but he's waiting because nobody had a car.
Yeah.
and Emily is just exhausted and freaking out, and Luke is just there.
Yeah.
And she leaned on him for support. And it just, we got way off of how we were going to do this conversation, though.
It's a stream of consciousness podcast. What do you expect?
It is. But now that we have just sung his praises, let's talk about Nicole.
I was going to say we skipped Nicole.
We did skip Nicole because Anna's getting her own episode.
Yeah. Okay, but we can also kind of tie this in a little bit. And this is how. So right before Luke and Nicole go on the cruise, Luke is asleep in his apartment, and he has a dream where he is in his diner alone, and Lorelai comes in. And I can't remember if she kisses him or not. I don't think she kisses him. She just comes in. I don't
even remember this dream, but that's not saying much right now.
I don't think she kisses him, but she comes in and she's like, don't get engaged or don't get married on the cruise.
I didn't think it was a dream. I remember that now. That was a dream?
It was a dream. Because Luke wakes up and he's like, oh my gosh.
No, I remember now.
Yeah.
And then he goes and gets married.
Yeah. But like he has a dream where Lorelai specifically tells him not to do it. And then he does it. And then he regrets it.
They're trying to get divorced as soon as they get back from the cruise.
Yeah.
And like, I always thought it was weird, him and Nicole. First of all, she was Taylor Dosey's lawyer.
And she was a lawyer.
That too. And like, I don't understand the attraction, because every girl before her, and including Lorelai, were like free spirits. Even Anna Nardini was very, like, you see with her little shop and stuff, very free spirited, very wild, very like, and here is Nicole, very buttoned up, very serious, very making Luke wear like he feels like he needs to dress up for her, go to like things that Luke would never go to. Luke would never go on a cruise.
It's true.
Luke would never.
Surprising.
Yeah, what was the point of that storyline? Nicole gives Digger vibes in the why did they put her in there?
They put her in there because Lorelai was doing something else and they weren't ready to bring them together yet.
And then of course the big issue with Nicole is like Luke's like, we don't have shared property. The apartment we got together you can have. I want nothing from you.
Yeah. And
she's sending lawyer after lawyer after lawyer, and they're like, he won't communicate. He's like, I don't want anything. Give me papers to sign so I can be divorced.
Yeah.
Like immediately I'm like, well, no wonder you two were not gonna last, because that would drive me nuts.
Yeah.
Like you don't trust that he wants nothing, and they don't trust that he wants nothing.
Yeah.
Like he has everything he wanted.
And I mean, at that point, he's got plenty of property and assets of his own. So if he's like, I don't want anything that she has, it's not like he's a gold digger out for her money. He owns the building. He owns Luke's, and he owns the ice cream shop.
Yeah. Well, and like they were getting that apartment together, and he's like, that's fine. Have the apartment.
Yeah. He's like, I don't want it.
Like, and it was just, that whole situation was weird to me because it's like, well, you guys have to divide assets. We don't have assets to divide.
Yeah.
We went on a cruise, got married. I imagine alcohol was involved.
I would hope so, honestly.
And then as soon as they got off the cruise, like they even said, as soon as we docked, we were done.
Yeah.
Like, does their marriage even count? They were in international waters.
Right?
Like,
I mean, like, at that point, like,
you had nothing.
Yeah.
Like, granted, I know there's the whole consummate the marriage thing, but like, do you even really need to get divorced, or can't you just get it annulled?
I know. I'm like, at that point, like, could you just do an annulment?
You guys were married 3 whole days?
Yeah.
Which, again, this goes to the Anna Nardini of it all for them to bring that up. Well, he was only married 3 days. Like, and
your point?
You've been a single mother for 11 years.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with single mothers. They are powerful, wonderful women who work very hard to do what they do. But in this case...
my issue with this particular situation is it's a single mom putting down another single mom.
Yes.
And that's my issue.
But also acting like she didn't choose to be the single mom.
Yes.
And then getting mad that he wants a part in her child's life. And then acting like that's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, you chose this and now you're acting like he's not good enough. You're the one who let your daughter do this science experiment.
Yes.
This whole, I had no idea. Ma'am. I know as a former teacher in elementary school, like public school, this age group, you might not have known she had a project due until the last minute, because then she's asking you for things, but that's not how April operates. You know your kid. Well, you were fully aware of that project.
And April was using her uncle's lab to do the tests. There's no way that April Nardini did not know.
Which we'll have to bring up in the episode about April and Anna.
Anna Nardini. There's no way she didn't know. Yeah.
Because now I'm like, was this a ploy? Anyway.
But going back to Nicole.
Yes.
Okay, I do love when the lawyers are all there and they're like, you must want something. And then he explains, like, they ended up at the same show all 3 nights or whatever. And he's like, I want my 3 hours back. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they're like calculating stuff. And he's like, oh my gosh. Because truthfully, I would probably be the same.
It's like they just are so used to litigation being so toxic and contentious that they couldn't fathom that he didn't want anything.
Yeah.
But Luke has never been the only reason he bought the whole building was out of spite for Taylor Dosey.
Yes.
Not because he needed assets and a big building and to prove that he was wealthy or whatever. Because even though Lorelai came from that rich girl background, with the exception of some of the interactions of like dealing with the Christopher of it all, Luke never felt like he wasn't enough for Lorelai.
Yeah.
He never felt like he had to be the rich guy.
Yeah. Not once did he ever feel like that, or did she ever make him feel like that?
Exactly. Because he knew her.
Yes.
Christopher didn't know her.
Christopher didn't know her.
Digger didn't know her.
Digger definitely didn't know her.
Max didn't get a chance to know her.
Max didn't really try.
That too.
Max was all about kissing.
Look, I still don't want to hate Max, though. Okay.
You can like
out of
Max.
all of them, he wasn't the worst.
He's in the middle.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah.
Alex never got a chance to know the truth about Lorelai's life.
He knew quite a bit for how little he was there.
That's true.
But also coffee.
Coffee. And spa day instead of fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the Nicole thing was weird.
It was.
I do love that we get to see a little bit more of his feelings, of Luke's feelings, like the way he goes and he found another man's socks. He's wearing another man's
These are
socks.
not my socks.
Lorelai's like, okay, are they Jess's? No. And then he goes and he kicks a car. He wants to go up there and he wants to be mad and throw a fit and make a fuss in the apartment. But he doesn't. He just kicks the car.
Which, okay, let's talk about that for a second. The fact that he knew that Nicole was having an affair because they were still married, they were still trying to make it work.
Because they decided not to
get a divorce
right away, because that was before all the lawyers.
Yes. And so, because like they did all the lawyers, they decided to work it out or whatever. And then he's not wearing his socks, which means that Nicole was actively having an affair.
But at the same time, not that I defend cheating, but Luke was not staying at their apartment.
It's true.
They were supposed to be making it work, but he was staying at the diner.
Yeah.
If I were Nicole, I'd be like, obviously this isn't working. I'm moving on.
But you coulda.
No, I agree. I'm not defending the way she chose to do it, and I never will defend a cheater. But I get why that kind of happened.
It did make it easier for her to just leave and for us to be like, good riddance.
Yeah, because if Luke really had wanted to make it work, he wouldn't have been staying at the diner. He would have gone home.
It's true.
But we all know Luke didn't want to make it work because he still had that horoscope in his wallet.
That's true.
Because if he really loved Nicole, would he have kept the horoscope?
He would have taken it out. But instead, we knew.
We all
he
knew.
knew that Lorelai was endgame.
Yeah, Nicole.
She's
just not his type.
Mm-hmm. But while we're talking about Luke, I do have to say my favorite line in regards to Luke is where he takes Lorelai. It's their first date to her sister's wedding, and he learns how to dance.
His sister's wedding?
Yeah.
You said her sister's.
His sister.
And I was like, Lorelai doesn't have a sister.
No. His sister's wedding.
I was really confused.
So like because he listens to those self-help books.
Yes,
right?
I remember.
And then he learns how to dance.
Aww.
And so they dance together at the wedding, and Lorelai is shocked.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like, she's telling Rory, I think I went on a date with Luke.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, Luke can waltz. And Rory's like, Luke can waltz? And she's like, Luke can waltz. And the amount of times that I have said to my friends, Luke can waltz is hilarious. There's an artist that I follow on Instagram. Julia Mann is her name. I've met her before. She's a fantastic artist. Anyways, she has a drawing of Luke in Luke's diner, and she just posted it the other day. And I commented on it. I was like, Luke can waltz? Luke can waltz. And she's like, oh my gosh, I love this part so much. It's one of my favorite parts. And like of all the talking about Luke, we almost skipped right over the best part of the whole Luke and Lorelai, which is them getting together. I loved the wedding where they go and dance. Mm-hmm. I love that he came to the opening of her diner and he brings her flowers. Yep.
That is the night we're having, my friend.
But like he comes to the opening of the inn. And also, when she asks him to dinner because she's going to ask him for money because she has nowhere else to go. Mm-hmm. And then like everything goes awry that day, right? And like she's crying. And I was going to ask you for money. And then he's like, how much? And she's like, we're not talking about it right now. But I love that the next day the money is there. Mm-hmm. He already has it for her.
Yes.
And I love that she's like, you're going to be an investor. And he's like, I didn't do this to be an investor. I did this for you. Mm-hmm. I just like, these are the things that like made me just fall absolutely in love with Luke.
Oh yeah. And I think the things that made me fall in love with Luke are twofold. They're not just all the things he did for the girls. Uh-huh. Like the one thing that stands out in my mind that I love so much is the earrings that his sister makes.
Yes.
And then she's like, when he's helping out at the Ren Fair and they're like, well, this necklace would match. And, and he holds on to it and stuff like that. But it's the fact that he was helping out at the Ren Fair. Mm-hmm. It's the fact that that first kiss they have is crushed by Kirk running through naked in the midst of a night terror. But Luke is there for Kirk too. So even though he's like, we will finish this, he, as much as Luke gets so mad about town things and annoyed by Kirk and irritated with Taylor Dosey and all of the stuff that Luke absolutely hates, Luke shows up for that town.
Yes.
He let Kirk practice dating in his diner.
I was just thinking about that too.
He, I remember one of the first notes I put was when Babette, when her cat Cinnamon dies. Luke is at the wake. Would Luke, what we know about Luke Danes, would you ever expect to see him at a wake for a cat?
No.
And not only that, but he's being super sweet to Babette, like in the background. This is all background.
Yeah.
While Lorelai's doing whatever and the camera's focused on them. But I see him in the background, like offer her a seat and he's sitting at the piano and not playing it, but sitting there and they're singing and he's just not Luke Danes in that moment.
Yeah.
But he is.
Yeah.
And I think it's all of those moments where, the whole series focuses on Luke and Lorelai and what Luke does for Lorelai and Rory. But we lose focus on like the sprinkled in bits of like when he shows up to help cook while Suki's stuck in bed rest. While, and he lets Suki cook in his diner when he needs, like when they need it because their kitchen caught on fire. And while he might complain about it, it's like, my comparison is this. My dad claims to hate cats with a passion. Hates him. But every time we get a cat, he's the one cuddling with the cat the most.
Yeah.
That is what Luke reminds me of, is a man who is all bark, no bite.
Yeah.
I mean, he will have bite if he needs to.
Yes.
I love, again, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I love that when it comes down to it, when Lorelai sleeps with Christopher that one time, when her and Luke are like sort of together and him and Christopher want to go at it and Christopher tries to throw a punch and fails and Luke lands the first punch.
Yes.
I cheer because yes, Luke should land the first punch.
Or even when Lorelai tells him that she slept with Christopher, and he rolls up to Christopher's and just punches him in the face.
Oh yes,
and then turns around and walks away. Like
he doesn't even get mad at Lorelai. Like he is mad at Lorelai, but he actually directs his anger correctly, in my opinion, at the people that are the problem.
Yes,
because while Lorelai is the problem, she's not as much of the problem.
Yes,
people are enabling her problems.
Yes, but I love those moments of him being there for everybody else too. Like as much as he grumbles about that town, he would not be happy anywhere else, honestly.
True. And the same is true in reverse, in that even though the whole town kind of knows him as a grouch and a grump and his dark day and he's a jerk and da-da-da-da-da, when, who was it, his uncle passes and they weren't gonna do the whole like reenactors sort of thing, even though he was part of the town for him, and it's like, was it Lorelai who said something or was it just him? Whatever, they show up. Yeah, he doesn't expect anyone, and they showed up for him. Yeah, because no matter what, they probably all sat down and were like, well, just because we didn't like his uncle, we do like Luke. Yeah, Luke did this for us, and Luke did that for us, and
Luke is important,
and that's a testament to Luke and the life he's created there.
Yeah. And I think with this, I also want to bring up at the end of season 7, which really is like the crux that brings down Lorelai and Christopher's relationship, which is the letter that Lorelai writes on Luke's behalf.
His character reference.
Yes. Because that probably had to pain Luke to go and ask her to do that. Wait, does he ask her? Or
he does.
Okay, yeah.
He kind of does it in a like, I'm trying to get custody with April, and like I need a character reference. Do you mind writing it? Like I don't think like a lawyer called her.
No.
It's just that's who he thought of, but he did it in that kind of like, I mean, you don't have to do it. And she's like, no, that's fine. And I remember her like taking a minute and kind of being like, what do I do? And then just and that's the one time Christopher doesn't absolutely act like a tool.
Yeah. But I think at that moment he also knew that he had lost. And like that, I think he knew he lost and that he never really was in the game.
Well, and it was also a reminder in Lorelai's own words of the things Luke said to him early on in the series. When Luke was like, and it might not have been early on. I can't remember if he said this to him.
It's at the renewal.
The vow renewal after the whole like,
because Christopher's like, I'm her dad, and he's like, oh really?
Where were you when she broke her arm? And like all these specifics, and it's like, Christopher, where were you? And so for that to now be repeated essentially in Lorelai's words was the like click for him.
Yes.
And you know, how do you look at that letter and not think, yes, Luke Danes should absolutely have custody of his daughter? I mean, how do you look at the situation and not think that Luke Danes is a fit father? Yeah. Luke Danes finds out 11 years later he's a father from a science fair project and immediately goes, what can I do? She can come stay with me. Let me be in her life. Let me buy her this. Let me help her with this. Let me do this.
Let me be a father.
He wanted to be a father, and I don't know if it came from a sense of like obligation or responsibility, or if it just came from this is my kid. Because he was always a father figure to Rory, and that wasn't his kid. Yeah. And it wasn't just because he liked Lorelai, because I don't think he liked Lorelai until later.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
I think he just like, for whatever reason, he was Rory's dad.
Oh, 100%.
Honestly, he was Rory's dad.
And I think too, you look at, you know, he took in his nephew.
Yes.
His nephew, who gave him nothing but grief until later, who made life really difficult. And Luke defended him tooth and nail, even against Lorelai. The woman who, as we mentioned in that episode, way overreacted to the car accident situation.
Yes.
And wouldn't take Rory's account of things as truth. She just assumed that Jess was trying to kill everybody. But even though that relationship was rough, like Luke cared enough about Jess to try and to help him and to work with him, and like went all the way to Philly to drag him back for his own mother's wedding. Like, but at the same time, after that car accident situation, even though he knew, and we see that scene breaks my heart a little bit, but like Lorelai is furious with Luke and with Jess, like, you should have never brought him here. And Luke knows exactly where to find Jess and sits down, and Jess goes, I made sure she was okay. And Luke goes, I know. Like, no matter what, but he knew that the only way for everyone to be okay was for Jess to have to leave. Yeah. And then when Jess's dad shows up, he's like, what are you doing here? Get out of here. I'm protecting this boy. Like, Luke is a father figure to all the kids. It's even true. The ones, like when he took on the baseball team, the little girls' baseball team. And he's like, no, I want the fancy letters. I don't care how much it costs. But they were scary.
They were scary. I was like,
or no, it wasn't baseball. It was soccer.
Yes.
They were soccer. But still, like, he was like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll coach the team. And then he committed, got them fancy jerseys and fancy lettering and let them eat at the diner.
Yeah.
And I just like, he may grumble and grump about things, but he is, like you said, big teddy bear at heart.
Yes. Okay, but I do, while we're talking about character witnesses, I do love when the lawyers are all at his house or at his diner and he's like, Lorelai, come and speak, like, let them know what type of person I am. And she's like, oh, when I think of Luke Danes, I think of nothing.
Well, because he wants nothing.
Because he wants nothing. And he's like, will you tell them I want nothing? And she's like, definitely.
Oh.
Which, I mean, I just, like, I love their dynamic. I do love their dynamic. And I love that, like, at the end, even though that last season was rough, I do love that they did bring them back together at the end, you know, with the letter and then also with the Bon Voyage party.
Yeah, like, how could they not?
Yeah.
If they ended that season without some sort of reconciliation between them, the fans would have rioted.
Yes.
And there would have never been a year in the life.
Oh, absolutely not.
You know, it was funny because I was listening back over some of our episodes because I was editing. And I think the only thing that Luke really has against him, because yeah, he's a grump or whatever, but he redeems himself. I think the only thing that he has against him is his lack of whimsy.
Yes.
And we talked about that because of the whole Alex thing when they go to that movie or whatever with Suki and Jackson and he dives right into their games and stuff. And he's the only one out of all the men that dives into to Lorelai's whimsy.
Yes.
And so it's a little weird for like Luke has no whimsy, but I think now that I'm thinking about it and talking about it out loud, I think he does just in a different way. Because like the fishing thing when he's trying to teach her to fish, but then she names them and he's like, okay, I'm done. Like you can't just keep the fish. Like you know, but
or the ice rink when he wants her to make up with Snow, which is he finds ridiculous.
Yes. Or the fact that when she goes out into the middle of the street and she's like, I smell snow, and he's like, okay, cool. Now you've smelled the snow. Like he's like, it's not supposed to snow. She's like, no, but I smell it and I'm never wrong, you know, and then the snow betrays her that whole time. But like I think he's not necessarily full of just wonder and whimsy. He's like practical whimsy.
Yes.
You want to ice skate? Cool. I'll make you an ice skating pond.
Or like when her car dies and she makes him go shopping. And it's where they actually like start like break the ice. And he ends up finding her exact same car.
Yes.
And like the engine is good. And so he's like, you can pay this much money for the exact same car. And then take that engine and put it in your car's engine, which is absolutely absurd. But if you want your Jeep back again, here's how you can do it.
As someone married to a car guy, this is exactly something he would do.
It's a kind of whimsy.
It is. And I think like I said, it's practical.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with like the fun whimsy of like Alex and stuff. But truthfully, Luke was probably like, girls got enough of that. Between her and Rory and Suki and Patty, Miss Patty and Babette. She needs a little more practical whimsy.
And I honestly think he's just happy to be along for the ride.
And frankly, he puts up with Paul Anka and all of Paul Anka's requirements. And he rushes Paul Anka to some middle of the night doctor when he accidentally eats chocolate.
Yes.
And he's so concerned. Like
that is like, I cannot let this dog.
I cannot let my girlfriend's dog die.
Yes.
And he helps find the missing chick.
Yes.
Like, I thought it was a euphemism. I thought you were calling me over here for something else. No, it's literally, he's like, oh, you literally have a chick on the loose. Did you think I didn't? Because she's so full of whimsy and he's practical. But he still is crawling around trying to catch a chick.
Yep.
I do like Luke Danes. Every once in a while, I question it a little bit because there's certain things that I'm like, but then the rest come out and you're like, oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
What kind of man would dive around the floor of your house to catch a little baby chick for your daughter's school project?
True.
Or go to a wake for a cat?
Luke Danes. Because when I think Luke Danes, I think nothing.
Except that he can waltz.
And I was like, I almost switched out to be like, when I think Luke Danes, I think Luke.
I thought you were going to, and then you didn't.
I almost did, and then I didn't.
That's okay. I got you.
Thank you. We got there in the end.
Yes. I think that's a good. There's probably so much more we could say, but I think I
feel sufficiently covered in what I wanted to say.
Truthfully, I came into this having no clue what I was going to say about Luke.
I had a few things I wanted to say, and I said them.
I think the reason I didn't have a lot to say is because Luke is one of those things that's just a given for the majority of Gilmore Girls fans, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, it's either Luke or Christopher is the argument, but the majority of fans are like, no, Luke. Yeah. So there's not a lot that needs to be said, so it's more just reminiscing about the good things about Luke. It's definitely going to get a lot more chatty when we get into Rory's guys.
Yes.
Or boys, which is coming up with the next episode where we start once again at the bottom of the barrel with Dean.
Nobody likes Dean.
Nobody likes Dean.
Ugh.
So yeah, I mean, I definitely will have so much more to say about the other guys.
Yes, so will I.
Even the ones that I like.
Yeah.
But
Even
I think
the ones that you like, I have a lot to say about them too.
I have a lot to say about the one you like too.
In a good way. I was not being snarky.
I don't know, it felt a little snarky. No, there are good things about the one you like too.
Yes, thank you. That's the nicest thing you've ever said about him.
Oh, just wait. I mean, it only
I'm a
took me
little
15
scared.
minutes to convince you didn't like Digger.
Do I need to slam my laptop down again?
It's too far away
I
and it's
know,
already
it is.
closed.
I know. Also, I'm not feeling as salty as I was.
And
last
you know,
week,
it's
but
all bark no bite.
it's true. But
No.
also, Digger deserved it.
Digger deserved it.
Anyways, we will chat
Yes.
next time.
Yes. And we will dive into Rory's guys.
Mhm.
Boys. Rory's boys.
Yeah.
Because they were boys.
They were boys.
ultimately.
Yeah.
So yeah, tune in next time. Bye. The Gilmore Gab is created and produced by Rachel Flewellen and Susie Carmichael. Music by Kevin MacLeod. Follow us on Instagram at Gilmore Gab Podcast and sign up for our newsletter on Substack. You can also subscribe to our paid Substack for early access to new episodes and exclusive content. The Gilmore Girls show and characters are the exclusive property of Warner Brothers Entertainment. Warner Brothers Entertainment is not affiliated with, nor does it endorse, the Gilmore Gab Podcast.